Hi, welcome to Learning Audio Visually. Today, we will continue to examine the question, what is culture? Since the concept of culture is so complex, and it can be defined in so many ways, let's study it through the use of culture metaphors. Culture is like a tapestry. If we were to closely examine the fabric of a tapestry, we would see that it is formed by thousands of individual interwoven threads. Now imagine that, if culture is like a tapestry, it means that each and every one of these threads is an element of culture that is interconnected with all other elements. However, it is because they are interwoven that they can, together, form a unique configuration that only makes sense if we see it as a whole. Because, if we were to pull apart each and every one of these threads, the patterned nature of the tapestry would get destroyed, turning it all into a mess of parts that are no longer organized into a whole. This is exactly how famous anthropologist Ruth Benedict once defined culture. For Benedict, cultures are not just random collections of customs and beliefs, but are instead organized into coherent, consistent patterns. In her words,
"Such patterning of culture cannot be ignored. The whole is not merely the sum of all its parts, but the result of a unique arrangement and interrelation of the parts that has brought about a new entity."
So that is why culture is like a tapestry. On to our next metaphor. Culture is like a tree. In order to explain this metaphor, let's take as an example the case of what could be the oldest living tree currently known. This tree is named Gran Abuelo, which translates in English as great-grandfather, and some studies estimate that it could be as old as 5,484 years old. But in the beginning, just like any other tree, it was first a seed that germinated into a sprout, then into a sapling, and then slowly it kept developing and maturing over time while being sustained by its surrounding environment. All throughout this time, Gran Abuelo has developed strong roots that have helped it to keep being firmly grounded, standing tall for more than 5,000 years, constantly changing in order to adapt to both favorable and unfavorable conditions in climate, soil, competition with other trees for water, nutrients and sunlight, and even human intervention. Today, only 28% of its entire mass is composed by living tissue. The rest has already died and decayed due to various internal and external factors. And yet, the part from Gran Abuelo that is still alive has the potential to survive and thrive for many thousands of years more. So this is why culture is like this tree. The cultures of the world are firmly rooted in the environments where they've thrived. They are not static. Instead, they are in a constant state of dynamic change and adaptation. And they are affected by both internal and external factors that influence their growth and survival. To illustrate this, let's take, for instance, Egyptian culture. The Egypt we know today has not always been that way. For over 5,000 years, Egyptian culture has been in constant flux, experiencing changes in its language and symbolic systems. It has seen the rise and fall of empires and kingdoms. It has always been rooted in its close proximity to the Nile River. But it has constantly needed to adapt to both external and internal forces for change. Just like Gran Abuelo has done. In this video, we used Gran Abuelo and Egyptian culture as examples because they both have a similar age. However, it is perhaps important to mention that any culture, of any nation, or any social group, regardless of its age, can be compared to a tree. This is because they are all equally rooted, constantly changing, and vulnerable to influencing factors. I hope this video was helpful for understanding a little bit more about culture. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you have any other examples of these metaphors.